Hi everyone. So it's nearly Christmas time, and this has been a really challenging year for everyone. Thank you all so much for your hard work. I know it's been really difficult. Moving forward after Christmas from the 4th of January, you should all have access to something new that will help to support you achieve some of the placement hours that you've not been able to achieve for various reasons. So I just want to introduce you to it and explain the principles of it so that when we come back after Christmas, or if you're on placement over Christmas, as I know some of you are, you will have this to support you to try and make up some of your hours. Okay, so I'm just going to show you the site. So scroll right down to the bottom of your sites and get ready to see how many sites I'm enrolled on. Lots of announcements, it's fun. Okay, so right down to the bottom. And at the bottom of your sites, you should see something called the simulated placement site. So every single cohort of student nurses in the university is enrolled on this. Okay, here we are. So you can see looking down the side, there is a tab for the level 4 students, September 20, a tab for level 5, a tab for level 5 on the non-integrated curriculum, and a tab for level 6 on the non-integrated curriculum, as well as tabs for the master's course. So just find the tab for your level of study. I know some students, particularly September 19, you might want to choose which tab you go into because some of you will be on your level 5 placement and some of you will still have outstanding proficiencies from level 4, so you get to pick which tab you go into. Everybody else, just find your cohort, your year, and go in. And each tab is a learning package specially designed around your proficiencies or competencies. So whether you have the MyPad or the CAD, whether you have proficiencies or competencies, whether you have a practice supervisor or a practice mentor, it's okay. Everybody's covered. So I'm just going to pop the guidance up to explain to you how this works. So as you know, the NMC says that all student nurses have to achieve 2,300 hours in practice before you can qualify and be given a PIN. And they are non-negotiable on that. Even during a pandemic, they still expect that a nurse would have 2,300 hours of practice before registering with the NMC. But some people have had they've had to shield their placements being delayed because of a lack of placements, or they've had to self-isolate for a few days and not being able to go on placement. So this is for you. So the simple guidance is that these simulated placement hours can be used when a placement can't be sourced and the student is delayed in starting through no fault of their own. When a student is required to self-isolate for up to 14 days. And at the moment, we're just going to allow one 14-day period of self-isolating can be used for simulated placements. If it looks like we need to review that, then we will. When a student's completion date is significantly extended through no fault of their own, or when a designated simulated placement week is added to a student's training plan. So at the moment, it's only September 20 that are in the situation on the last point, but we would look to do that if we needed to for other cohorts, because we really want to support you in getting through this and try and be as flexible as we can. We just have to say though, this is not for general sickness. So if you have a bit of a tummy bug or a cold, or you just don't feel like going into placement today, this is not for you. The simulated placements are only for the reasons above, the reasons that we've highlighted. Okay. And if you want to use the simulated placement weeks, we ask you just to let either your academic advisor, your level manager, or your course leader know so that we can make a note of the fact that you're doing that. And then I'll just show you down at the bottom, we've asked the placement team to add a simulated placement week code to your placement timesheet. So when you fill in your timesheet, if you've done some simulated placement hours, then you would just put SP and submit your timesheet. And then when your academic assessor or academic advisor signs off your placement, they will just check that and check that there is some evidence that you have undertaken the work. Okay, so how do you get evidence? Well, there's a bit of guidance here for September 20, which some of it is applicable to all of you, but it's because September 20 have had a 3-week simulated placement. But how to claim your hours. You'll be accredited some hours if you submit reflections and write on your placement timesheet. So here's how you get a reflection. I'll use level 5 on the ICC to demonstrate, but everybody's packages are similar. There's just a few tweaks because they have to map to your proficiencies. Okay, so this one is September 19th package. There's a bit more guidance just in case you forgot the guidance before, and then these are your packages. So you would click on a package, pick any package and work through it. Okay, so I'll find one as an example. Here's the learning disabilities package. So it says straight away, this package should take around 7.5 hours. So every package has some hours to attach to it. You might spend longer, you might spend less. We're not going to check, but as long as there's evidence that you've engaged with the work, then that's fine. So here we've got a little presentation from Charlotte, who's one of our lovely learning disabilities nurses. So you can have a look at that. And then we've got some activities. So the first one is Paula McGowan, who is a mum that came to SHU last year to talk about her son Oliver and his experiences of being a patient in hospital with autism. So you would watch the video and have a look at the website, and there's some key learning points and some tasks. And then the next activity is a slightly more upbeat activity, and it's another mum talking about her child who had Down syndrome and her experiences, which are actually really positive experiences, and it's a lovely video. It made me laugh. And then afterwards you would just complete a reflection around what you've learned about learning disabilities and neurological impairments such as autism, and you would submit the reflection to your MyPad or your CAD, and that's all you would do. Some of the activities are your all fields work. Some of them are your proficiencies. So here's another one, tissue viability. So there's some guidance. It says that this package should take 5 hours, and at the end of it, by the way, the reflection is included in the 5 hours. You would complete a reflection based on the activities you've done. So here, the first one, we've got a workbook around tissue viability. So it's learning common terminology and procedures, and there's some like a little quiz to ask some questions. Then there's a video, ooh, lovely, with different pressure sores and their gradings, and then you have to test yourself at the end and see if you know what grade the pressure sores are that are presented to you, and just a few pointers. Okay, and then you'd complete a reflection, so that's not too bad. I'll just show you one more. So we'll go right down to the bottom, and we will look at this one, activities of daily living. So all we're asking you to do, we've got a lovely talking head of Jenny, and Jenny is 79 years old and lives alone in a 4-bedroomed house in Ecclesfield. So you would watch the video and Jenny would tell you all about herself and how she's doing. And then there's past medical history, drug history, and an A to E assessment. And then we want you to complete Jenny's care plan. Okay. Now, I'm just mentioning this one specifically because pretty much every package is very field specific. This is the only one that I think some of the other fields might be thinking, well, that's all adult, there's no child, not so much mental health, although there is an element of mental health when you do watch the video. We've picked this one, and I know it's adult and not child, but we've picked this one because it's really good for considering all activities of daily living. Often when you do a child's activities of daily living, they will be quite independent in some of those, unless they were really unwell or really young. So we've just picked Jenny because we think it's a really good scenario to explore all the activities of daily living. But I do apologise, I know it's not child focused, but pretty much every other activity is. Okay, so this is your simulated placement project. It's a sort of built up of fun activities, talking heads, interactive activities where we want you to get involved and do things. And then at the end, you complete a reflection. It will help you to achieve your proficiencies and competencies. It will help you to achieve your placement hours, and it will help you to achieve your all fields work. Okay, so if you feel that this is something that you would like to use during your placement because you need to make up some hours for the reasons that we've discussed, then just let your academic advisor or level manager know that you'll be using it, and they will look out for the evidence in your practice assessment document, which is your MyPad or your CAD at the end of your placement. But you must remember to put it on your timesheet. Okay, I hope that helps, and I hope you have a lovely Christmas. And thank you again for all your hard work this year in what has been such a difficult year for everyone. And wishing you all a better 2021. Thank you.